Just let me deal with Bantry for a moment. We signed the Aarhus Convention, or we ratified it, in June 2012. The licence in relation to Bantry, we actually are not quite sure when the licence was granted, so you might confirm what I'm told here in a reply. The licence commenced on the 21st of March 2014. In a reply here to Deputy Murphy O'Mahony on the 16th of May. So it was given in principle back in 9 or 11, and it was finally given in 14. Now, we had signed and ratified the Aarhus Convention, and I'm not sure if you understand the Aarhus Convention, but it gives and commits. Oh, that's great. I didn't see any humour in it, actually. But I didn't see any humour in that, but what I did see was a commitment to meaningful consultation with communities at every level of the decision-making process. So in relation to Bantry, the tiniest of ads went into one paper. It did not mention the area involved, and it did not mention that there would be mechanical harvesting. The public were absolutely unaware of that. Now, we hadn't ratified the Aarhus Convention when the ad went up. We certainly hadn't ratified it, but we knew we were going to ratify it, and we did in 12. We did in 12. And you don't see anything wrong with that. And do you think people lost a day's work and came up here today? Do you think they lost a day's work and came up here today just to be cranky or to object? Or can you accept their bona fides, that they believe that there's something radically wrong with this process, that they're seriously worried and they want you, the government, to engage with them? And rather than talking about liability, perhaps you might look at the terms of the licence giving to see, can it be revoked, and what conditions under which it can be revoked, and so on. And maybe you could begin a meaningful discussion on that in relation to their concerns. In relation to the general motion that I've put, I very much welcome what seems to be the unanimous support for the motion on this side of the House from Sinn Féin. I very much welcome the fact that they've been here today and spoken, and from Fianna Fáil and from the Rural Alliance. In relation to your comments, Minister, in your amendment, which I didn't get back to and I'm going to get back to now, you reaffirmed three things, and one is of particular concern to me. You reaffirmed that through the Marine Coordination Group that will continue to advance and promote the sustainable development of the seaweed sector in Ireland. I believe, as my colleague has pointed out, that 9 government departments sit on that in theory it meets every 6 weeks, and that seaweed, I think, came up once. So are you seriously standing here before us and telling us that coordinating group is going to promote a sustainable policy in relation to the seaweed sector? Now, that's an insult, Minister, and I respect you and I like you on a personal basis, but that's an insult to give an answer like that to us today. There's an onus on you, like there is on me, to read all of the reports and to see the recommendations. And so when you say that we focused in on one view, we actually focused in on the recommendations of the committee in May 15. And number 1 of the 8 recommendations is that we have a national strategy. I don't particularly like the word strategy, but I accepted the word from the committee. I would prefer a comprehensive, sustainable plan in relation to the seaweed sector. But they talk about a national strategy, so we accepted that terminology. And we're asking you, before you grant any licences, to comply with that recommendation which came from that report on developing the seaweed in Ireland. And then when you and your colleagues stand up and tell us various things about it, 40,000, we know all of these facts because all of this work has been done in the various reports and by the briefing document from the Library Service, which is absolutely excellent and everybody should read it. And they tell us the value of the seaweed industry, they tell us what the traditional harvesters have done, and more importantly they tell us the potential for the creation of jobs and the importance of a sustainable industry for maintaining a balanced ecosystem and in relation to climate change. Now, what else do we need to say in this new type of politics for you to listen to us? We're not shouting, we're not putting out policies that are way out. We're quoting government policy down over the years. And we're asking you, why has nothing been done between May 15 and now? Why is we're looking at a coordination group that makes no sense in relation to sustainable development? And please, can we just at some stage listen listen to the concerns of the people that are here, read the documents and say, look, this makes sense. Let's have a sector, a seaweed sector, that's sustainable, that maximises the value of this natural material that we have. Let's look at it and let's see how many jobs we can create. 1,000 was the figure given by BIM way back in May 15, Údarás na Gaeltachta, or BIM. They looked at Japan and then they looked at Ireland and they said, we can create 1,000 jobs. This is totally in keeping with your own documents. Let's give meaning to language. Thank you.